morning, this is Anka Metcalf with TradeOutloud.com. Welcome to my pre-market game plan for the major future indices, gold and oil, for today, April 4th. It is 9:10 a.m. Eastern Time. Overnight, we had some relative weakness into the indices, and we're going to start now with E-mini Dow. And what we see here is that pretty much from 3 a.m. Until now, it's a little bit after 9 a.m. Eastern Time, YM has been basing, forming support at 20,512 and resistance at 20,560. So if we break this key level of resistance here, we have odds of continuing higher into 20,585, 85, 86 area, and then back into the 20,600. And this was the battleground for the last 30 minutes of the day here at 20,600 into yesterday. So yesterday we had a sharp decline to the downside, or we had a pop to the upside. So double bottom of 20,450 got bought up and brought back into the 20,600 level. So this is going to be the key area for today. First key area, like I've mentioned before, it's going to be the 20,560. However, the risk to reward ratio is going to be a little tough here because we would need to respect this stop. We would need to respect this pivot low, 20,512. Because we have been raging for such a long time, we might see price just bounce back and forth several times before it makes an attempt to break the 560 to the upside, or if it should decide to decline below 510. If we break above the 560 area, like I've mentioned before, I'm looking for a target into 586. 600 once again, 625, and 650. And we're going to see if that's going to be the case. If we continue the bearishness that has set up, or I would say late last week, starting on Thursday when we formed the stop and we have these declining tops and bottoms, this is going to be a key level here that I'm going to be watching. So 20,510. If we break below this level, obviously we should have a continuation lower with the first target into the 50 area once again. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 index futures. And we have the declining pattern, we have the falling tops, we have the falling bottoms. However, in the overnight extended session, we never challenged a prior low from yesterday's New York session, which makes it a little stronger than the E-mini Dow. So far, we have a buy that is happening off the 2345 area, and we have been basing within this area. We have created support for the last 2 hours. So this is the initial pop of this hourly buy. Key level is going to be 2350 area. And if we break above this 2350 area, the next challenge is going to come over 52. I would have the patience today to wait for a continuation in price over 53. 53 is going to bring me that reassurance that price may be ready to continue higher into 2355, perhaps 2360 if we get some kind of momentum happening in the market. For the downside, if we break today the 2344 area, obviously we may see lower prices into the 2340 area and back into last week's low into the 2333 area. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. And NASDAQ has been one of the strongest indices that has been trying to hold its support levels. However, in yesterday's trading session, we had a flurry to the downside that sent the price to challenge and to visit prior support from last Wednesday's low in the overnight session, and that is above at 5400 level. It's 5405. We bounced off this key level. we came back into the 54.40 level, from which we have declined in the overnight trading session. Once again, we found support in the same area at 54.05, 54.06, from which the price is bouncing. However, if we take a look at the overall chart, we can see that the tops are declining, the bottoms are trying to decline as well. If we get a break of 54.06, we may have room to continue lower. However, keep in mind that 5400 is a daily support level, and we also have a rising 200 moving average in this location as well. So price may stall at this point and may try to find some kind of support. So far, we're bouncing off this overnight pivot at 54.05, and I think that I will remain cautiously bullish if we break 54.30 level. Until then, 54.20 is going to be the first test, because this is an area of minor resistance here that will be tested most probably soon if the current price action should continue in the next few minutes. So this is going to be the first area that needs to break before hitting higher, and then we will look at the 54.30 level. I think the chart patterns are not very conducive and very clear trading activity right off the open, but we will see how we open and what the opening ticks are going to bring to our charts. Oil has been stabilizing at the 50 level in the overnight session. 4 a.m. came with a hard bounce off the $50 zone, double bottom as well, challenging the prior high from yesterday's session at 50.50, and now trading at 50.55. Now, keep in mind that on the daily chart, we have pretty much of a bull sandwich trying to form here. And if we break the 50.80 area, this area right here, we may continue higher, and the next target would be into the 51.50 area. So that's good for another 50 points. Obviously, when we're looking at determining targets based on the daily charts, we look at the overall trend and what seems to be triggering that can offer us fluidity in price for future targets. So far, we have support at 50.33, resistance right here into the 64 and also into the 75 and 80. And we will look for a continuation higher, but we need to have a clear pattern here for a better assessment of the trend of the immediate trend that should happen. GC, and this is gold, is taking a little bit of a pullback after a strong rally into yesterday's New York session and into the overnight session as well. Established a high at 1263, and right now it is trying to challenge the high that was established on February 27th, which was 1264.09. So we're literally little over a point into that testing level. So not far to go to test that level. The fact that the price is remaining in this area, it just proves that it really wants to erase the prior resistance set on February 27. So we're still very much bullish on this pattern. We had a failed, and I'm going to bring the daily chart, we had a failed pullback, a very shallow pullback, a failed attempt to make a lower high, and at this point price stabilized at 1241 and is trying to break above this very thick layer of resistance that is coming from this prior high on March 27th. It's coming from this prior high on February 27th. So it's very interesting that they are a month apart. And right now, open void all the way to 1300. So let's go back to the hourly chart. All right, so this is all for today. I hope you all have a very profitable trading day and a very profitable trading week ahead. Stay tuned for more trade ideas in our private Twitter feed.